Reggie used to talk to your granny like this, Ponsonby. She was called Ponsonby too. And she used to give him inspiration. You're going to give me inspiration, aren't you, Ponsonby? I know you are, because you see, Reggie has died and left me and Jimmy and CJ and Tom and Linda and Joan and Doc Morrissey and the Harris Joneses £1 million each. It's true, Ponsonby. But we only get it if we can convince Reggie's lawyer, Miss Geraldine Hackstraw, that we've done something completely and totally absurd. Precisely. It is absurd. But that's the situation. And all I can think of to do is to make some more of the square hoops I used to make for the grot shop. Which is a bit pathetic, really. Because children don't even know what round hoops are these days, let alone square ones. I'm sure David and Prue Harris-Jones are discovering an amazing talent for being absurd, Ponsonby.
Oh, God. Alan's car's here.
So what?
Well, he said he might give me a job. He won't if I make a Burke of myself as Long John Silver.
Getting cold feet, are you?
Well, a cold foot. Well, do you really want to go in there? Geraint will be slicing bits off you to go in the Campari and soda. Oh, God, it's Owen. Hide!
£1 million, David.
Well, exactly. I just don't believe we can qualify for £1 million as easily as this. I think we should go and ask Miss Hackstraw what sort of thing she'd regard as sufficiently absurd. I'm not opting out. I'm just being sensible.
Can one be sensible about being absurd?
Well, maybe one can. Would it upset you awfully, darling, if we just went home?
No, I'd be thrilled.
And CJ, he didn't get where he is today without being eager to lay his hands on £1 million. He'll be able to think up something absurd, Ponsonby.
1, 2, 3, 4, make them wait outside the door. Come! CJ! Hello. Do sit down.
Thank you. May I call you Geraldine?
By all means, but then what am I to call you? I can hardly call you CJ if you're calling me Geraldine.
My intimates have been known to refer to me as Bunny.
Good Lord. Well, what was it you wanted to see me about, Bunny?
You're a very beautiful woman. Will you marry me, Geraldine?
I would be failing in my duty to myself, both as a lawyer and as a woman, if I didn't remind you that you are already married.
In name only, Mrs. C.J. and I never got round to divorcing. I didn't get where I am today by throwing money into the hands of overpaid...
Lawyers?
Yeah, sorry, that was crass.
Yes.
I can be crass. You're amazingly lovely, Geraldine. And what's a bit of bigamy between friends?
Ah, this is your idea of being absurd, is it?
Yes?
Do you really think you can ask one question and claim £1 million?
Well, I hadn't really thought.
No, you hadn't, had you? Well, your idea isn't anything like absurd enough. Does your marrying me really strike you as being totally and utterly absurd?
Yes, I'm an old man.
Not old, Bunny. Mature. Ripe.
You make me sound like a cheese. I didn't get where I am today by sounding like a cheese.
You were once the big cheese at Sunshine Desserts. You still have an aura of power. Power is sexy. You have money. Money is sexy. Money is very sexy.
I don't have that much money.
You'll have £1 million if you do something sufficiently absurd, and I am the final arbiter of that. I think we should take this idea seriously. I'd quite like to marry a very rich man. You should see Mr. Venison. He's our divorce specialist. And in the meantime, I think you should ask me out to dinner tonight.
Oh, dinner. Dinner? Good.
Yeah, you're shy now that it's real.
Shy? Shy? Me? Well, perhaps I am a little. Geraldine, may I take you out to dinner tonight?
That would be delightful, Bunny.
And what of my brother, Ponsonby? Do you think the thought of £1 million will concentrate his mind sufficiently to prevent a bit of a cock-up on the absurdity front?
O'Brien, a pint of bitter, please.
Sorry, do I?
Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
Jimmy? Good God. Good. Jimmy. Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations. Thanks.
On coming out of the closet. Marvellous.
What closet?
Admitting that you're a transvestite.
What? Not. Good God, man, I'm not a pervert.
I've been described as a pervert, Jimmy.
You mean you're a trans thingamy?
Yes.
But you're a quantity surveyor.
So why are you dressed as a woman?
Been invited to this shindig. Thought I'd go in fancy dress. Try to look absurd.
You've succeeded. Who are you supposed to be?
A woman.
What woman?
Any woman.
That's pathetic.
Are you really a trans what's it?
Yes. I dared come out of the closet. When I saw you, my heart leapt. I thought if someone else from the mansions can do it, then so can I. I thought perhaps we could go to the Balti house together. For a chicken tikka. In drag.
Sorry, must rush, Brian.
Selfish bastards! Splash my tights!
Jimmy? Oh, thank God. I was worried I'd forgotten to tell you it was fancy dress. I didn't want you making a fool of yourself.
Dear old Doc Morris is really pretty absurd altogether, Ponsonby. So I'm sure he'll come up with something.
Sorry about that. Now, what was it you wanted to see me about, Doc?
Oh, nothing much, really. I just wondered whether you'd marry me, Geraldine.
This is your attempt to do something absurd, is it?
Yes. Utterly absurd, isn't it? The thought of you and me.
No.
What?
I think you're kind.
Oh.
I think you're gentle.
Oh.
I think you have a warm heart.
Oh.
I think you and I could have nice times together.
Oh.
I think you should ask me out to dinner.
Oh.
Linda's become really rather conventional and middle class, Ponsonby. But I'm sure that even she'll come out with something outrageous.
An amusing little oak finish with a long vanilla nose.
Miss Hack Hackstraw will see you now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what of Tom, Ponsonby? Do you think he can ever become an absurdity person?
Good morning. You look absolutely... for you.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Do have a seat. Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Patterson, as if I didn't know?
I was wondering if you'd like to come out to dinner with me sometime.
Oh, only dinner. You aren't proposing marriage. Tut, tut, Mr. Patterson. That isn't very absurd.
I don't understand.
You are presumably assuming that I have no feelings and can be used by you in your pursuit of £1 million. How corrupting money is. First the lottery, now this.
You think I'm playing games? You think I'm trying to be absurd?
Well, aren't you?
Miss Hackstraw, you are extremely beautiful. When we all sat in this room for the reading of the will, our eyes met. Probably by accident, but I could hardly breathe. I hoped that if I called on you, oh, Lord, stupid, deluded Tom, I hoped you would be so impressed by the intensity of my feelings that, and the force of my personality, that love would jump barriers. I forgot that I'm not a love-jumping barriers person.
Forgive me, Mr. Patterson. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It was a foolish thought. But you see, I don't look as boring from my side as I do from yours. Goodbye, Miss Hackstraw. If I'd realised there'd be wine, I'd have brought some of my Fig Nouveau.
But you didn't, so all's well.
There's no need to be rude.
No, but it's fun, isn't it?
Where's Joan? She's not ill, is she? Not chesty? I'd be happy to go and examine her if you
No,
like.
she's on holiday. She sent her apologies. Apparently there's a new man in her life.
Oh.
And he's got holidays stored up, so he's dragging her round the South Sea Islands.
Poor girl, some men are so selfish.
Anyway, I've asked the rest of you here today because I have realised that Jimmy is asleep. Wake him up, somebody, would you?
Wake up, Jimmy.
Rub it harder. No, higher. The itch is there. Sorry. Asleep, dreaming. Sorry. Carry on.
Thank you. As I was saying before we heard Jimmy's sexy fantasies...
Oh, I see, it's a bit below the belt.
Yes, sounded as if it was. Ladies and gentlemen, Reggie lived here in this dull house because he was exhausted. He hated the success of Grot. He didn't want to get rich out of rubbish. He wanted to help to create a better world. He left that Grot money to us in trust on condition that we did something absurd. We mustn't see that as cruel, as his attempt to humiliate us. We must see it as our chance to carry on his work. Yeah. Our motive shouldn't be the £1 million. Oh, welcome, though. That would obviously be. Our motive should be to repay my Reggie's trust in us. Oh, dear. I've moved myself so much I think I'm going to cry. You see, Reggie believed that the world was often so dull, so lacking in humour, that to be absurd, to regain the ability to be absurd that children have, would be a truly worthwhile memorial.
I don't think I was absurd even as a child.
I'm sure you weren't.
Oh, you probably think that's an insult. I take it as a compliment.
Oh, children. Now, we've all tried to be absurd individually.
I haven't.
Yes, you have. You asked Miss Hackstraw out to dinner.
How the hell do you know that?
She told me.
She told you when?
At dinner. The Belle Epoque.
You took her to La Belle Epoque?
Yes.
No wonder she was a bit upset with me. I only took her to the Climthorpe Tandoori.
You've taken her out?
You both asked her out to be absurd. I asked her out because I loved her.
Oh, that is absurd. Collect your £1 million. Do not pass go.
Children, please. Now, I believe that Jimmy is asleep again. Wake him up.
Fancy going on top of me now? Sorry, dozed off, dreaming.
I wonder if I could borrow your dreams sometime.
Please, may I continue? Thank you. Now, have any of you, on your own, done anything good enough to enable you to go to Miss Hackstraw and say, I claim the £1 million? Frankly, your ideas have been pathetic. Dressing up like bad charades, putting on roller skates, CJ and Doc finding an excuse to take out Miss Hackstraw because they're two dirty old men.
What have you done that's so clever?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've been the most pathetic of all. And do you know why I've been pathetic? Because we shouldn't have been doing this individually. At Grot, we were a team. At Perrin's, we were a team. Reggie intended us to work as a team.
I don't think Linda and I could work together even for £1 million.
I agree.
Oh, wonderful. That's the first time we've agreed for 8 years.
Oh, don't be so stupid, Tom. You know what I meant. I agree. We couldn't possibly agree.
I agree.
Nevertheless, you are talking again, and that's something. And I don't think we ought to let Elizabeth down.
Well said, that woman.
I agree, and after all, none of us have got anything else to do. Well, all right, I'll give it a go.
Well, I think I owe it to Mummy.
Well said, that highly fanciful woman. Though not by me, it would be incest. Sorry.
I hate to be the one to pour cold water over a wet blanket. I didn't get Brian today by pouring cold water over wet blankets. But I must ask the awkward question. All right, we've agreed to work together. But to do what? That's the fly in the woodpile.
I think the solution to the fly in CJ's woodpile may lie in something Doc Morrissey said.
May it? Oh.
I think you may have solved the problem, Doc.
May I? Oh. Was it something really rather brilliant?
Yes, I think it may have been.
Oh.
Although maybe it wasn't.
Sir, do you please explain to me what you're talking about?
Yes, sorry. No, it was what Doc said. None of us have got anything else to do. Well, we haven't.
Was that it? Was that my contribution?
Yes. Now, don't you see? Some of us are, well, not exactly old, well, too old to work, and others have been made, well, redundant on grounds of, well, age, I was told, and so was Tom, and I don't know about Joan.
Oh, yes. Her boss wanted legs crossed by a younger woman. Sorry, Reggie, that was petty.
Change the subject, somebody, would you?
Absolutely. We'll cross those legs when we come to them.
No, but you see, I really do have an idea.
Oh.
What?
Oh, wake Jimmy up, somebody, would you please?
Again, already, you're insatiable. Sorry. Must have been in the land of Nod.
Land of complete and utter fantasy, more like.
The land you know well.
Please, shut up! David has an idea.
Good God. Sorry. Well done, that man. Well, come on then, spit it out.
He's trying to, but none of you bloody well let him, so shut up.
Yes, well, no, actually. Well, it is an idea. You'll probably think it's pretty feeble. It probably is pretty feeble.
Stop running yourself down.
Well, as I say, some of us being, well, as I say, well, not old, but oldish, and others having been made...
Redundant-ish.
Exactly. And I just thought the elderly and the redundant, we could sort of march on
Tiptoe?
Westminster. With placards saying, don't get rid of experience. Don't throw us all on the scrap heap.
Prue was right. You do run yourself down too much.
Oh.
You've shown sound judgment. You said your idea was feeble, and it is.
The inadequate are always sarcastic.
No, but I don't think David's idea is at all feeble.
Darling.
I mean, it was feeble, but only because he put it so feebly.
But darling.
I think he's really onto something. I mean, there are so many senior citizens in our society, and so many people who are being made redundant long before they become senior citizens. Some of them at absurdly young ages. And I think we really should do something about it, on a massive scale.
Oh, well said, Prue. There, you see what teamwork has produced? A rather pathetic remark from Doc. The significance of which is understood by David, but he expresses it rather feebly. And Prue expands on it, and now we have it. Do you realise what we're suggesting? A revolution. A bloodless revolution, I hope. We march on Whitehall. We march on Downing Street. We attempt to take over the government of the country. It's brilliant.
It's absurd.
Exactly. So it can win us £1 million as well. Aren't you all excited? Aren't you all thrilled? Jimmy, wake up!
Gone. Left me. cow, bitch. Sorry. Dreaming. Even my dreams end in disaster. Bit of a cock-up on the subconsciousness front. Quite a view.
Extensive.
See a long way, bugger all worth looking at. Fancy a coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
Pity you haven't got any. Bit of a cock-up on the catering front. Got vegetable stock cube, melt it down, might make a cup of something.
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Bit in the bottom of a bottle of schnapps.
No, really, I'm fine. Jimmy, I've come to sound you out.
Intriguing.
Do you remember what we talked about at the meeting?
I kept falling asleep, but got the gist. Bloodless revolution. Absurd.
Exactly. Somebody will have to run the show, Jimmy. It'll have to be decided democratically, of course.
Oh, God, will it?
I could suggest you, but there's no point if you wouldn't be prepared to do it. I mean, I just want to be sure that you don't feel past it.
Well, because I keep nodding off, you mean?
Well, not that particularly. I mean, Churchill used to take cat naps.
He woke up refreshed. I wake up knackered.
How's morale, Jimmy? Really deep down?
Bad. Low ebb. Tried to kill myself twice, you know. Gas oven, Cornwall. Why, you and Reggie rescued me. Second attempt. Lay on railway line. No trains, bloody bastard beach. Recently thought, pity I failed. Maybe third time lucky.
You lack a sense of purpose, a sense of destiny.
True. No sense of destiny whatsoever.
Imagine if it worked, Jimmy. A bloodless revolution, led by you. You'd be as famous as Wat Tyler.
What, Tyler?
He led the Peasants' Revolt in 1381. You've heard of Lambert Simnel?
No.
You could be as famous as him.
Terrific. I think I will have that schnapps. Sure I can't get you anything?
A glass of tap water?
No problem. Blasted water companies, more leaks than a Welsh barbecue. Shopping fatigues 1400, major restocking. Yes, lost a bit of confidence. Not sure I could pull it off, this leadership thing.
Well, I won't pretend you're clever, Jimmy, but I think you're lucky in a way, in that the brains that you do have are all concentrated in the one area.
Not with you.
Oh, you're not very good at maths.
Absolutely, got it in two. The phrase is got it in one, but I'm not good at maths. It was a joke. I know. There's a tradition that jokes are supposed to be funny. That's why I try to ignore the little bastards.
You aren't very good at philosophy. You're not very brilliant with words. You're not bookish.
Absolutely right. Chap in the mansions, meaning to be kind, invited me to this arty-farty literati party. Made a fool of myself. Thought Evelyn Waugh was a woman, George Eliot a man. Bit of a cock-up on the author-sexing front.
So you see, Jimmy, all your brains are reserved for the one great task of your life, the inspiring and leading of men into battle.
Oh, well, if you put it that way, I see what you mean.
In this case, it's men and women, and it's not exactly battle, but the principle's the same. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. You miss the war, this is your chance.
Got you.
Welcome, children of the bloodless revolution of senior citizens and the occupationally rejected.
I say, is that what we are? Super.
I've asked you here today for one reason, to elect our leader.
Super.
I don't think the decision should take long. It seems to me there is one natural and obvious choice.
Thank you. I didn't get Bram today without being able to see which way the wind is blowing.
I'm afraid you did, CJ, because I was referring, of course, to Jimmy.
Doc?
You are a businessman, CJ, and as such you will be invaluable to us. But Jimmy was a soldier and a leader of men.
But he's your brother. In my book, that's tantamount to nepotism.
I must say...
Must you?
Do shut up, Tom. Carry on, darling.
Thank you, darling. I must say that Jimmy, while he is an old soldier, well, he wasn't a leader of very many... well, was he? And, well, he does tend to, well, doesn't he? And so maybe he hasn't exactly, well, has he?
David means that Jimmy wasn't a leader of very many men, and he does fall asleep a lot, and there are probably more leadership qualities in David's left sock.
Well, yes, sort of. If not those actual, sorry.
I resign. I've lost the confidence of my troops.
You can't resign. You haven't been elected yet.
Well, elect me and I'll resign.
I believe we should elect Jimmy as leader. All right, he's my brother. All right, he's no spring chicken. All right, his career to date hasn't been an unmitigated triumph. But Sir Winston Churchill was quite an elderly man, with no great record of success behind him, when he led us to victory in the Second World War.
I hope you're not comparing Jimmy to Sir Winston Churchill.
I didn't get Brian today by comparing Jimmy to Sir Winston Churchill.
It's all absurd, and it's all supposed to be absurd. And we're only doing it to inherit £1 million anyway, so let's elect him.
Here, well, not exactly here, but yes, I agree, I think.
Let's appoint him. He's promised to resign anyway. Let's get it over.
All those in favour of Jimmy as leader?
I don't think you should vote for yourself, Jimmy.
Oh, with you, bad form, right.
You're elected NEMCON, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, much appreciated. Your faith, very touching. I'll serve you to the best of my ability.
Correct me if I've got the wrong end of the gist. I thought you'd agreed to resign if we elected you.
Did. Changed my mind.
Bastard!
Should we please need a bastard for leadership? All leaders, bastards. I know what you're thinking. I'm thick. Well, 2 days ago was. 2 days ago kept falling asleep. I see before you a man transformed. A man vibrated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the turning point. I realise you're only in it for the money, but Big Sis is in it to make a suitable memorial for Reggie. With her all the way. Farewell, apathy. Hail the bloodless revolution. What, Tyler? Forget him. Lambert Simnel, a piece of cake. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lit this day such a candle that we will never need electricity again, as Queen Elizabeth I once said. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrinkleys are on the move.
Cecil Rhodes takes on his greatest rival. The epic story continues next here on BBC One.